I'm probably a little too cautious with how I work with athletes because I do think that overtraining syndrome, even if you're motivated, that can lead to just like, low back pain, groin pain. Then that leads into like some sort of acute injury and it kind of snowballs at times. So the thing that I have heard in the past is like, parents have talked to me in the past and said like, hey, can we, get some strength and conditioning work? And we just had hockey practice this morning. We're going to a game tonight. That's like 3 to 4 hours of pretty high intensity training for one day for a kid. So what do you see using, maybe Bob or Jackson or Jimmy as an example? Like, what does their typical week look like as far as load volume, right? Like let's say middle school. What does that typically look like? Like how many hours on the ice a week? How many games? Just give me a sense of that.
Yeah. Well, I think it differs. I'll answer it this way. Um, we never prioritized off ice training at like a 12, 13, 14, even probably like 15 years old. We prioritize getting on the ice and
Hmm.
skating and doing skill work and then playing your hockey games. And again, I'll go back to when you were with us at Breakaway Academy. That was one of the things that you taught us, like the work to rest ratios and just again how really intentional reps was better than a volume, and really focused reps. And a lot of the on ice training for the kids, it doesn't have to be a grind. It can be like really fun. You can make training fun, and it can
Yeah.
be a lot of small area competition, and it can be stuff they really look forward to. So like having a secret formula as far as X a number of hours a week for training, I think it really differs for the kids. And just one of the things that I always have tried to do when I coach youth hockey, and when I had like Bob and playing youth hockey, was I wanted the kids to have off nights because I knew they were going to go outdoors and skate. I know they'd get organized pickup games. They'd end up in somebody's backyard, and it'd be a fun 5-on-5 game. And then the kids are out there playing for 2-3 hours. You're not sitting there monitoring their workout output. You're just like they're having fun and they're playing. So and I think that's great. So we didn't have a formula. We were cognizant of if you're going to do off ice training, like it make sure it fits your schedule and make sure that it is really focused. We were fortunate. We had somebody like you that had a real deep knowledge in this and had a passion for doing it correctly, and doing it where you weren't ever putting the athlete at risk of like an acute injury, as you mentioned. So it just wasn't a concern for us. And obviously, things have changed where, again, we were fortunate. When I mentioned that these kids had a great environment, that was part of it was, again, having you there to provide this knowledge base for the rest of us. And I have the same concern you have. I see kids that they do off ice training and then they have a morning skate and then they skate in the afternoon and then they have an evening game, and that's a lot. That's a lot, especially if it's like intense training. And I just think that we had intense training too, but it was really focused and it was really scheduled and it was probably minimal compared to the on ice component.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. No, I've always felt that even at the pro level, it's like there's just this I don't know where it stems from. I think it stems from college where lifting heavy weights is the norm. And it kind of makes sense because you're only playing 2 games a week and your season is what, 5 months relative to pro or junior or even high school where you're playing. Well, I guess high school is a little bit different, but whether it's the elite league or guys going to play junior or summer leagues, like it's more than just the high school league that players in high school are getting games in throughout the season. So I've always viewed it towards, yes, you need 3 months in the off season to really focus on the off ice training, but everything in season just is supporting the game. Like even practice, in my opinion, should support the game. And sometimes I won't name names, but there have been NHL coaches who have, bagged players day before a playoff game. It's like, what are we doing? Like, it just doesn't make any sense. So it's good to know that, schools like Breakaway, I'm sure there are others, whether it's a school or a coach, that are starting to catch on to these philosophies. You guys a lot sooner than most others, but that's great to hear. So